Solutions. For more, let's go to Delhi. Siddharth Singh is the author of The Great Smog of India. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thank you for having me.
Before we go into the politics of it all, how bad has it been this Monday?
It's been an absolute toxic mess. The last 2 or 3 days have been absolutely terrible. Some of the worst days I've seen. It was hard to breathe. It was hard to even see. The eyes were not able to focus because there was so much of smog and smoke in front of us.
So much smog, so much smoke. You heard in that report one gentleman saying you can't blame this all on the farmers.
Well, I mean, I would not use the word blame because blame makes it seem like they're doing it, almost intentionally to make it bad, but that's not the case. The fact is that most of the pollutants at this time of the year does come from the agricultural fires in Punjab and Haryana. But the farmers are not doing this because they want to. They're doing this because they have no other choices. We need to ensure that there are correct incentives for farmers to move towards cleaner and better ways of dealing with the agricultural stubble. This includes, for example, if we were able to put a value on it so that farmers could extract it and then perhaps give it to either power plants or to other industries that may need that kind of stubble. We need to create that kind of an ecosystem so that they actually have options rather than to just burn it.
Is that something that's been, I don't know, anticipated, talked about?
Yes, I mean, the government is trying to do that, but unfortunately, there's not been a solid policy about it just yet. The solutions primarily so far have had to deal with a lot of technological interventions. For example, there are certain form of machines like happy seeders which seed despite the stubble, but unfortunately it's too expensive for farmers to use it. So therefore this technological fix is not working. What we really need is a shift in the way agriculture is actually done. So creating different kinds of markets so that farmers are incentivized differently.
Let's talk about municipal politics, if you will. There was this incident on Monday. A lawmaker from Prime Minister Modi's BJP party, his name is Vijay Goel, who decided to defy day one of the alternate driving day license plate numbered rules by driving his car, which had a numbered plate ending in an odd number. He says that the city government, which is run by the opposition, that they are wrong to ban cars. Your thoughts on this incident?
So I have a very controversial view on this, and that is that I think politicization of air pollution is a good thing. I think it's a good thing because the alternative, which is what was happening for the past several years, is that nobody was talking about the issue. Now with it becoming political, with the different parties trying to one-up each other and try to do, this was a silly gimmick for sure. But the point is it got people talking about the issue. Now suddenly you had the Aam Aadmi Party come out with arguments to defend their move, and then you had the central government trying to talk about different aspects, like trying to talk about the agricultural stubble and so on. I think that conversation is very important because that's when people get involved and that's when political change really happens.
Because you have a problem that goes beyond just air pollution, right? You have in India the federal government, which doesn't talk to the state government, which doesn't talk to municipal governments.
Absolutely. It's been a case of a deadlock between these various administrations. In the central government, there are several ministries, including transport, energy, and so on, which are separate. Similarly, state governments also have such ministries, and then the municipal corporations. None of them really talk to each other. It's a case of deflecting blame from one agency to the other.
So when you look at neighboring China, where when you have big air pollution days, or if there's a big event that's coming, there's just an order from on high, and that's it. The factories close down and the skies become blue. What's your reaction?
I mean, India is a democracy at the end of the day, and we have at least a semblance of a functioning judicial system. So I'll give you an example. In the year 2000, the Supreme Court had ordered that all polluting factories in the residential neighborhoods of Delhi will have to move away. They'll have to move away to different parts of the state which are away from the residential areas. Believe it or not, there were protests. There were people even who were killed because the laborers who were working there, they did not want to lose their jobs and they really risk for their livelihoods. This is a common theme across the nation. where some of these polluting industries also are such a major source of employment in the economy that nobody really wants to touch it. But in general, the point is well taken. I think we may not be able to have China's approach to things, but at least we should have China's dedication towards kind of making a difference. It'll be important for the central government to step in to bring all these warring parties together so that we are able to actually address it across all the sectors where this problem lies.
Was air pollution an issue during the last general election campaign?
Unfortunately, no. There was not a single political speech that was made by either party, any of the dozens of state parties on air pollution. In fact, it was a tragedy that we could not talk about this very grave issue of our time, considering that 1 million people die every year due to air pollution alone.
Do you think that now with this, I mean, this year has been particularly bad, right? It happens every year more. It becomes more and more intense, but this year is particularly bad. Could this be a watershed moment?
My hope is that it could be, because this is the first time, perhaps ever, that we had air pollution becoming a political issue, at least at the state level elections, in the sense that so far there were obviously a lot of political mudslinging, but for the first time it's becoming an electoral issue at the state government level, where you had the existing Aam Aadmi Party, the government of Delhi, put out ads in newspapers talking about the achievements that they have made in this field, and this was obviously opposed by the BJP and the Congress party. So the fact that it's becoming more political in the electoral season time, it could definitely be a watershed moment for India.
Siddharth Singh, the author of The Great Smog of India, thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thank you.